Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf. This video was going to be a skincare Q&A. I haven't vetoed that video. It's just moved to next week. So if you want to hear me answering all of your skincare questions, check out that video next week. Keep your eyes peeled. So whilst I was going through all of your questions regarding skincare, there were a lot in there of a rather personal nature, some of which I cannot answer on my channel, some of which I don't want to answer on my channel, and others I just thought, you know what, if you want to know about this stuff, I may as well answer it and do a dedicated video answering all of your personal questions. So, I am not going to reveal any of the people's names who have asked me these questions because I don't want to embarrass them. What I will say is all of the questions that I'm going to answer today were asked in a really kind and genuine way. There was no negativity, there was no malice in there was no nastiness. So that's why I've chosen to answer these ones. There are 8 questions. Let's get straight in. Firstly, if you are new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I upload 2 to 3 videos on YouTube every single week. I'm also on Instagram if you fancy checking me out over there. It's at Pampered Wolf, all lowercase, no spaces. And if by the end of this video you've found this video helpful or you've enjoyed watching, I would really appreciate it if you would click that like button, also the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Question 1, is YouTube a full or a part-time job? Now, there is no generic answer for this, so I can only speak for myself because it all depends on how many videos you put up a week, how long those videos are, do you factor jobs out or do you do 100% of everything yourself, like editing, thumbnails, links, answering comments? Because if you do all those yourself, it takes a long time the more videos you do a week. Now, at the moment, I do 2 to 3 videos a week, so it's really time consuming. You've got to make sure that you're filming properly and it's professional. You also have to make sure that you've planned your videos properly, which takes up the bulk of the time. And you also have to factor in time for answering all your comments, hearting your comments just to make sure that you know that I've read them. So yes, it's time consuming, especially things that you don't generally notice, like the thumbnails and all of the links in the description box take a lot of time to do. So for me personally, YouTube is definitely a full-time job and some. And everybody that has an at-home business or works from home will probably be able to relate to this. I try and shut my office door and shut off. But my office is also on my phone, so I take it absolutely everywhere with me, and every time my kids don't particularly need me or they're busy doing something else, my mind hops back to my job, and I will tend to get on with things rather than just doing things on a 9 to 5 basis. I tend to be working at all hours of the day. I had somebody the other day say, "It's really late for you. Why are you answering this comment?" Well, you know, work never stops. So it's definitely a full-time job. I work way over 40 hours a week, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I absolutely love it, and I am seriously grateful that I love every single last bit of my job. I know how lucky I am. Question 2, do I use a filter on my channel? No, I do not. I like to be as transparent as possible. To be quite honest, I don't know any YouTuber that actually does use a filter on their channel, and unfortunately, I mean, I love Wayne Goss. I absolutely think he's amazing. Wayne has done a couple of videos recently all about filters and why you will never look like a YouTuber because they all use filters, or I mean, he probably didn't say that they all use filters, but he implied that a lot of people use filters and so they blur their image out and it's completely wrong. Well, I agree with him, it is completely wrong, but I don't know any YouTuber that actually uses a filter, and unfortunately the knock-on effect from Wayne's video is that now every single YouTuber on YouTube is getting bombarded with questions, do you use a filter? And you know, it's just gets a little bit irritating. I do like to be as transparent as physically possible. I like to show you all the fine lines and wrinkles. I like to show you all the dry patches. I like to show you how foundation sits on my skin, how blush sits on my skin. I like to do outdoor in natural lighting shots, just so we're all on the same page, so I don't deceive you in any way, because lighting in studios can do a lot of things. It can really blur images out. It's not all about filters on cameras. Now, I don't use a filter on my camera. I wouldn't know how to put a filter on my camera, even if I wanted to use one, which I will never do. There is a specific camera that has an inbuilt filter within the lens, or so I've been led to believe. I don't use that camera. I use a Canon 200D, which is, you know, pretty generic camera. If there is a function on there that will filter everything out, I haven't found it yet. But believe me, I really don't know what I'm doing with my camera. Just switch it on and hope that it does its best. So, you know, no, I don't use a filter on my camera. And to be quite honest, I don't know anyone that does. So that's your answer. No, I don't. Question 3. It doesn't strike me that you're struggling. Are you rich? Okay, no. I think I don't know how to answer this question. Okay, let's go back right to the very beginning. So when I first had Seth and Beatrice, we really struggled. We really struggled once we'd paid our mortgage, the insurances, everything. We had very little money left for food at the end of every single week. So I had £20 a week to pay for food. And my dad used to have to come to the supermarket with me. We used to have a couple of trolleys. He had both kids in his trolley. He used to push them around and, you know, play with them while we were going around the supermarket and keep them occupied, so it made it easier for me to shop. But the real reason my dad came with me to the supermarket is so if my card declined at the till, my dad would step in and pay for it. And that happened a few times because we had nothing. We had absolutely nothing. When Seth was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, I had to stop work to make sure that I could look after him, and we'd been used to having my income, and all of a sudden that wasn't there anymore. So yes, it was a struggle, and I know what it's like to have nothing. Absolutely nothing. My dad would never have allowed us to lose our home. That would never have been, you know, even thought about. He would have stepped in. I am extremely lucky and very grateful to have him. He's amazing. But luckily we didn't need his help there. We did struggle through. We pared everything down and we just went through the motions until we rode it out. And I started to do YouTube. It wasn't supposed to turn into anything. This was something just to keep me occupied. And the only reason I could afford to buy my camera and my ring light was that my nan died. And this was my mum's mum. And my mum's mum left my mum some money in her will. And my mum gave me a little bit of that money. And I thought, I've not had this money. This is something I need to do special with this money. I don't want to spend this on food and I don't want to spend this on bills. This needs to be used for something special, and blimey, it really, really has. So I guess what I'm trying to say is when you ask, am I rich? We're not there anymore. We're okay. So, oh God. Huh. As far as that is, we're not there anymore. We're not struggling anymore, but we're also not going out and spending money on really expensive, lavish holidays, Ferraris and Lamborghinis. And I also still have a mortgage. So that should answer your question. Question 4, do you get Botox and fillers? So I'm going to be completely honest. In fact, I filmed my first Botox and a lip filler procedure so that everyone could see it because I wanted to be completely transparent. I don't mention it a lot on my channel for the main reason that YouTube doesn't like it. They don't like seeing any procedures of any sort. So I will show you on Instagram if I've been to see Dr. Grace, who is absolutely phenomenal. She's my doctor. She's the one that does all of my treatments for me. I will show you on Instagram that I've been to see her. A lot of you will notice when I've been to see her because my lips may be a little bit plumper, my cheeks may be a little bit plumper. I don't actually have fillers in my face. However, I do have Botox in my face, and what Botox can do, especially around this area, is because it numbs this muscle and stops it from working when you smile, this doesn't work, but this still does, so it makes your cheeks look a little bit fuller than they actually are, because the only bit that's moving is this portion, so it makes it look a little fatter and fuller. So I like that look. I also like the look of not having very many wrinkles on my forehead, although Grace is amazing. I would never go to a doctor that would overfill my face with Botox because I still want to look as natural as physically possible. I don't want to look frozen. I don't want to look plastic. So she only puts the tiniest amount in. In fact, I actually went to her about a year ago now, it will have been, and she refused to give me any more Botox. She said, go away, you don't need any more. So that's why I go to her. Now, with regards to lip fillers, I actually haven't had lip fillers for over a year now. I had enough fullness in my lip. It was just all hidden. So what Grace did was she put a little bit of Botox here, which stops this muscle from working and flips the lip outwards a little bit, which is why my top lip suddenly looked a little bit fuller earlier on in the year. It wasn't because I'd had lip fillers, it was because I'd had a little bit of Botox here. So at the moment, I'm only having Botox, and I've not had it now for a good 4 months or so. I think about 4 months. So I know I'm not due a top up just yet. I do like some movement in my face. So on that note, do I think it's right for everybody to get Botox or fillers? Absolutely not. It's an individual thing. I personally like it. I think it's the best bang for your buck that you're going to get when it comes to your face, but it's not protection. You should always still use your skincare and you should always still use your SPF to protect your skin. This is just, you know, a little bit of a tweakment, shall we say. I like it. It's not for everybody. That's absolutely fine. Question 5 isn't actually a question, it's more of a comment, but I wanted to respond to it in this video because I think it's really, really important. It comes from a really, really lovely lady who put, I watch every single one of your videos, I love your channel, but I can't support your sponsored content and I won't be watching it. Of course, I completely respect everybody's opinion. If you don't want to watch sponsored content, that is your choice and that is absolutely fine. But what I want to say is, if you trust me when I'm not getting paid for things, then you really should trust me when I am, because my moral compass does not change depending on whether I'm getting paid for it or not. I am extremely selective about sponsored content. I've only done one so far because I wanted to make sure that it fitted my channel and I was really passionate about the product that I was, in essence, promoting. So I am extremely picky. I get probably 20 emails a day asking me to sign up and partner with their specific brand and do some sponsored content. And that's been going off for around about 5 months now, and I've only ever done one sponsored video. That should tell you all you need to know. So although I completely respect your opinion, I do feel like there is a little bit of an imbalance with wanting to support me when I'm not making any money to not wanting to support me when I am. Because honestly, I will never lead you astray. Every single thing that comes out of my mouth will be my words and they will be truthful to me, because I wouldn't be able to sleep at night unless that was the case. So watch, don't watch, that is your choice, and I'm not going to fall out with you about it because I really like you, but I've said my piece. That leads beautifully onto the next question, which is, will you tell us if your videos are sponsored? Yes, 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 and yes again. Not only do I have a moral duty to tell you if something is sponsored, I also have a legal responsibility to tell you if it's sponsored as well. So if you watched my faves and fails video, the intro to that video was sponsored, and I put it actually in the title of the video, which I didn't legally need to do, but I did anyway because I wanted to make it completely clear so nobody could miss it. I also didn't need to put it at the top of the description box. I just needed to put it somewhere in the description box, but I put it at the top of the description box because I didn't want to mislead anybody. And I also mentioned it right at the very beginning of the video, as well as clicking the tab on YouTube to make sure that at some point in the video, sponsored content or sponsored whatever it is that shows at the bottom of the video, I think it says this video contains paid promotion, will appear at some point within the video so that you know that it does contain sponsored content. So yes, of course I will. If it doesn't have all those in the video, please know it's not sponsored content, not that it really matters if it is, like I've just said in the previous question. Question 7, I cannot believe this has actually been asked. When I read this, I was just like, question 7 is, have you fallen out with your mum? No! No, I haven't. Me and my mum talk every single day. Actually, that's a bit of a lie. Sometimes we don't talk every single day, but we at least text every single day. Usually around about the 4 o'clock mark, 3:45, my mum FaceTimes me. We have half an hour on the phone just talking about our days, which can be very boring sometimes because sometimes neither of us have done anything. And, you know, I don't want to really bore her with, well, I filmed today and this is what I said and this is what, because she's going to watch the video anyway. So, you know, I talk to my mum every single day. Hopefully I'm going to see her over Christmas. Fingers crossed. I am crossing everything. Last week or the week before, I think it was the week before, we went out for a walk because we're allowed to do that at the moment. So we went out for a walk outside, socially distanced, obviously, but it was nice. I got to see her face to face instead of over, you know, the airwaves. So no, I haven't fallen out with my mum. I can't remember the last argument we actually had. We don't tend to argue, really. It's just, you know, not something that we do. We did enough of that when I was younger. We don't need to do any of it now. So that leads us perfectly into question 8, which is, where's mum? How is she? And will we see her soon? Well, let's answer the question of where's mum first. Mum, Jan Mama Wolf, is at home. She is not socially isolating. She's not unwell. She is very, very well. She's just following the rules, so she's at home. So although she's allowed to go out and do her own shopping, if you are in anywhere else in the world other than the UK, by the way, in the UK we have a tier system which has different rules depending on what tier you're in. We're in a high tier, which is tier 3, which means that we can't socially get together indoors with family or friends. We can see them outdoors, but we still have to remain socially distanced and it can't be within our gardens. So, you know, that puts a spanner in the works a little bit. So my mum's remaining at home, she's being safe, but she is very, very well. Hopefully we'll see her over Christmas. Will you see her soon? If the tiers system shifts a little bit, if we go into a lower tier, that is a possibility. And I am really, really hoping that happens soon, as I think every single person, we just want to get back to a little bit of normality. It will be lovely having my mum by my side again. At the moment, that's not possible, but watch this space. I am extremely hopeful. Keeping all fingers crossed to everybody. That concludes this video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that's fulfilled all you nosy people out there. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a like. It really does make a difference. Also, click that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.